All right, this is our series on data visualization or graphing, 6 parts in this series. First part, just introducing you to graphs. Graphing or data visualization, one thing to think about is why these visualizations might be useful. Why are graphs useful to us? The type of statistics that these are descriptive statistics. So we're going to use a graph to describe some data or some information. So it wouldn't be an inferential statistic, which is used to draw conclusions about populations based on samples. We're simply describing our sample with a graph. So graphs will help us describe information. It's one way to summarize information. And we'll see that there are a lot of different techniques available. We'll just talk about a handful of them today. And of course, in this class, we always focus on computer-generated graphs, and interpretation of graphs going to be the big pieces. So in this unit, we're going to talk about interpreting graphs. Graphs for nominal and ordinal data, bar charts, pie charts are common things that you'll see for representing variables that have categories. And then graphs for interval ratio variables, histograms, stem and leaf plots, density plots, we'll see those. And we'll see also that we can break these variables down by groups using a couple of different approaches. We'll also talk about different shapes of distributions, normally shaped distributions versus skewed distributions. And we'll see some examples of good and bad graphing techniques. And of course, we'll do all of our graphing using R. So without even talking about graphs statistically, I think it's useful just to take a look at this one and see that, I think we all have a handle on already on what information we have here. This is a graph of people who participated in Black Lives Matter protests. And you can see it's broken down in a number of different ways. What does this tell us? Well, it tells us that the largest group were white folks. 18 to 49-year-olds tended to be the most likely to be out protesting. And overwhelmingly, they tended to be Democrat or leaning Democrat. Again, without even knowing any terminology about graphs, we can get that information. We can see how people fit into different categories. This technically would be a bar graph that's on its side or something like that. We can also see that this different sort of graph here, it's showing us kind of over time approval versus disapproval of President Trump. And you can see the clear trend here. Looks like disapproval tends to be going upwards as we get closer to the election. Here's another graph. This is a graph which is showing the number of COVID cases on each of the different continents. So you can see that Europe is still the most cases, with North America catching up quite quickly. This graph's a little bit old. All right, that's the end of part one.